Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today, I am giving you guys a guide / tutorial on how to use Bybit as efficiently as possible. I've been getting a ton of requests from people to give them a quick update on how to actually use this platform because I use it every single day on my videos and I trade on it every single day myself. So today, here we go. All right, a good little update on how to use this platform. Now, first of all, how do you get there? How do you make an account? Just use the link down below in the description or comment section because that way you'll make sure that you get the best benefits and the best bonuses. My link actually gives you a 10% trading fee discount because I basically won that a little while ago, which is pretty cool. But also you get yourself a $3.5 thousand deposit bonus until November 18th. And from there on forward, I'm gonna make sure that the link down below is gonna give you the highest possible bonus out there. Right now, you get $3,500 instead of $3,000 by using the link down below. It's an example, right? So make sure you check it out down there. There's a couple of cool deposit bonuses, but that's basically how you start with all of it. Make yourself an account with the link down below. If you've done that, you basically head over to the home page, right? And there's so many different buttons. I'll tell you guys everything you need to know. First of all, head over to the top right somewhere. Some things might look a little bit different because you have different sorts of accounts. I, for example, have logged into a sub account, which I've basically done here to mask my amount of money. If I went into my main account, you could see every single thing that I own, which I don't really want to show. So I've made a little sub account, which is why some of the buttons here might look a little bit different, but most likely you'll find it if you look through. So go to spot account here on the assets tab. The reason I'm telling you guys to do that is because there's three different sorts of accounts: spot, derivatives, and ByFi. Spot is usually in every other exchange, just your normal wallet. Derivatives account, you have to specifically put money into to be able to trade the leverage contracts and whatnot. To basically trade with leverage, you need to put it into this account. And ByFi is basically just a way to get yield on assets you already have in there. Now, spot is, once more, if you buy crypto in the normal fashion, like you've done on every other exchange, you buy it, you have it forever, right? That's the way that spot works. Derivatives is this section right here. You buy it, you're basically buying a contract because you're buying these things with leverage. We'll talk about that more in a second. And ByFi is in this section here. You can basically stake coins to get yourself a return on them, which is very nice, but not the main subject for today, as I think you guys want to know more about how to buy coins with leverage, which is the first subject of right now. How to use this exchange for leverage trading. So guys, I think it's very simple as well, but I'll try to explain it the most elementary way that I possibly can. Buying things with leverage basically means you have some money, let's say $1,000, yet you want to trade with, for example, $10,000. Well, you can do it through this manner. One thing to quickly note is that you can never lose more than you put in. So if you started with $1,000, you cannot go into debt because of this platform. Just to quickly clarify that, a lot of people ask that question. So how it basically works is, let's say you wanted to buy yourself some XRP at the $1.12 level, and you put basically $1,000 on the line. Now, if we're following logic, if the price went up about, you bought it at $1.12, about 2%, you'd have about 2% profit. Well, if you used leverage, then once the price went up 2%, since you basically traded with 10 times as much money, as an example, you now not get 2% profit, but you get 20% profit. All right, that's just the kind of the concept behind the leverage trading. The same thing, of course, goes for if you think the price is going to go down. You can say, hey, I'm betting that the price goes down, so to speak. I'm trading some short contracts. That's the ones I want to buy. And so the price goes down 2%, but you use 10 times leverage, you get 20% gains. All right, there's two different types, USDT and inverse. USDT basically means you use the USDT as a base pair, meaning, okay, you're buying $1,000 worth of contracts, you're buying $10,000 worth, you're buying $100,000 worth, you get your profit in USDT, and everything is basically measured in USDT. The inverse perpetuals are basically that, let's say you want to trade XRP, okay, you're getting paid in XRP, and everything is calculated in XRP. So let's say you actually have to use XRP to buy this. Or with Polkadot, you actually have to use Polkadot to buy this. With Ethereum, you actually have to use Ethereum to buy this. But that also means that if you made a good trade, that you actually get paid in Ethereum instead of dollars like on a lot of other platforms out there. Now let's quickly head over into one of my trades, for example, to show you guys a little bit about how I did it and what the profit looks like and whatnot. So here down below, you'll see a couple of my trades open. What these numbers and things are, I'll explain in just a second. Let's first quickly actually assess how we open one of those trades. Everything happens here on the right. You can actually change the way that things look if you want, by the way, but this is just the standard version. Everything happens here on the right. Open and close, isolated, yada, yada. You can see a lot of different buttons. Let's cover it from top to bottom, right? So isolated is actually an option that you have. You have two different ways to trade with leverage, cross and isolated. Now, in the easiest term, I would say just read what it says right there because that's going to always do you the most amount of benefit. Or actually, if you don't want me to cover it, but other people, there's also a tutorial function right here to watch a little video for how to use everything. But isolated basically means if you have $1,000 you're putting into this trade, $1,000 it's always going to use and the rest of your account is basically safe. With cross, you can, theoretically speaking, use a little bit more leverage and take a little bit more risk because let's say your position was going the wrong way. It'll use a little bit of the rest of the money in your balance to make sure you don't completely lose all your money, hopefully. Might sound vague, but we'll get to it once we learn a couple more words. A little bit down below here, there's leverage for long, a leverage for short. Long basically meaning you think price is going to go up, so you go long. Short basically meaning you think price is going to go down, so you go short. And the leverage here basically says, okay, all right, I have $1,000, for example. I want to trade with 10 times as much or 50 times as much, or I want to trade with, let's say, 2 times as much, right? I always kind of use between 10 and 15, depending on what my objective is, but that's mostly what I kind of go for, right? Some people that I know, they use 50 all the time. Some Korean guys I've met, they always use 125, which is only available on a couple of other coins. I think this one has 125 available, if I'm not mistaken. I think 100. Oh, 100 it is. All right. But you guys get it, right? It's heavy stuff because that basically means that if the price, let's say you go long, the price moves 1%, you make 100% profit. But if the price goes down 1%, you also lose your money because the price is basically down 100%, right? You guys hopefully get up and down in that sense. Now, let's move on a little bit here on the right. So we have an order price. This basically just means where do I want to buy into it? Right now, Bitcoin is 62.06 thousand. If you want to buy at that exact price, you put it in. This is the same on every other exchange, just a limit order. If you want to buy, let's say you put 63,000 here, what it's just going to do is it's going to basically buy the amount of dollars that you'd want. So let's say I want to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at 63,000. This is, again, contracts, not the actual Bitcoin. You're basically buying 1,000 contracts at the price of 63,000, which is high. But because there's a limit, it basically puts the maximum amount of money that you'd be willing to pay. So right now, the price that we're at is 62.054. If I press buy right now, it'll buy at that price. However, there's a couple things to note. Right now, we have leverage of 100 times, which basically means I'll be buying $1,000 worth, but I'll actually only be spending $10 to be able to buy that, right? The order value, this $1,000 is equal to this order value right here. This is the dollar version. This is the actual Bitcoin that we are buying. So this is the same thing. And here is how much we're actually paying for it. This is if we think the price is going to go up. This is if we think the price is going to go down, and you just press the relative button, right? Now, let's say, for example, we want to actually, trade, for example, with $1,000. Then we're going to have to look for, or let's say we want to trade 1 Bitcoin worth, right? We're going to have to put in, for example, okay, that we want to trade with, I don't know. Let's see how many zeros it is. 6 freaking million, or 600,000, I think. 6 million. $6 million. We can trade $6 million worth with only 1 Bitcoin, for example, 1.1 Bitcoin. That's basically the good part about it, right? You can see how it works. I think I don't think it's too crazy right now. I think everything is still quite clear on that front. Now, having said that, here's a couple of buttons that you should know about as well. Whenever you're buying or selling, people say it's very wise to use a take profit or stop loss. A take profit would basically mean that, let's say you want to make sure that you make money and that the money is guaranteed, like it sells out basically once you've gotten yourself profit. You can, for example, say, hey, I want to take profit once I've doubled my money. Press that button. Or you can say, hey, I don't want to take more losses than 25%. You press that button, and then you start buying it or selling it, for example. And how the way that works, by the way, is let's just do a normal little amount of leverage. Let's say, for example, we do 19, whatever, just a little bit more normal than 100. You press this button. Oh yeah, we actually, oh, I might have actually turned off the little message that you get, by the way. Usually when you press this button, there's going to be a little overview for yourself right here to show you whatever you've purchased now or whatever you're going to do. I might have actually turned that message off because it's sometimes annoying when you're trying to trade something real quick. But I think we've actually explained the buttons right there. Once you press that button, usually it's going to give you guys a little overview right here of what your liquidation price would be and all the other stuff. Because liquidation price is one of the most important things in trading, and that I will show you guys right now over here at the bottom. Let me quickly put in a timestamp here. We are about 10 minutes in. It's longer than I expected, but that's also because there's a lot of things to cover. So at the bottom here, you'll see we have the quantity, value, entry price, liquidation price, position margin, a lot of these words. Let's quickly go over them. Here's the contract. I bought Bitcoin with USDT. And again, the value is also mentioned in USDT then because that's basically the money that I'm going to get paid in, like you can see right here. And so that's the main, right? This means that it's not Bitcoin that I'm using USDT to trade this. The quantity of Bitcoin that I bought was 0.2 for this value. Entry price was 49.2 thousand. Liquidation price 48,000. This basically means, and I'm using 15 times leverage. This basically means once we get to $48,000, I will lose the money that I put in, which at this point is only $200. At first, however, and this might be a little bit confusing to people, this was about 900, and this was also about 900 on both of these, which is why it makes, or maybe even 600, I think, which is why it doesn't make sense right now for my position margin to be 200, but my profit to be 2.5 thousand with only 300%, is because my account had a couple of, I basically didn't fund the account with enough money to be able to sustain this. So it basically took money from this margin while still, I guess, keeping the same percentage, so to speak. It's a little bit strange, and probably you'll never witness this if you're just trading like a normal person, but I trade like a little bit of a crazy guy, and so some things in my account might look different than usual. Usually what it would look like is it says here the amount of money that you basically put in. Here is the amount of money that it went towards with the leverage. So let's say you put in $1,000 right here. Then if you did 15 times leverage, here it will say $15,000, and here it will say the amount in Bitcoin. This is the price you bought at, and this is the price where if you, for example, do the calculations for yourself, you bought in right here. Every time it goes up 1%, you're making 15% gains. Every time it goes down 1%, you're losing 15%. So at one point or another, if you go down, let's say about 7% or so, 7 times 15, you guys get what I'm trying to say, you're down 100%, which basically means you've lost your money, and that's where the liquidation price is. So that's something you might want to prevent because that way you lose your money. And so people sometimes put a stop loss a little bit above it. But right now, for example, I opened those trades a long while ago because I know, all right, I knew at that point Bitcoin was only going to go up from $49,000 on forward. And so once I bought at that point, right now we are at like $60,000 plus. And it just keeps getting more and more and more and more profit every single day. As right now, we basically 10 times our money on our Bitcoin trade and basically 10 times our money on my XRP trade because I bought XRP at 88 cents. And right now we are at like $1.20, for example. You might wonder what this fee is right there. It's a little bit annoying, but there's basically a fee, which is explained here over at the top, which is the funding rate that you have to pay for keeping a position open for long periods of time. Why is that the case? Well, it's because otherwise, if we're in a really bullish market, then people would just keep going long and long and long and long and long, but nobody would go short. And what that would cause is that this price on the exchange would really differ from the actual mark price around the world, so to speak. And so to kind of prevent that, they basically made it so that people who go contrary to the norm, to like whatever the other people are thinking, like contrary to going long because everybody's doing that, they will get paid to actually do so. So right now it's costing me a little bit to have this position open, where the opposite would actually give me money. So if I go short right now, it's going to pay me, for example, $20 a day to keep that position open, which is why people would obviously do that, specifically if you have larger amounts of money. You guys get why people would do that, right? Now, that I think is it for the leverage on how to buy. The selling part is actually very, very simple, but I need to explain this right here. There's a limit, there's market, there's conditional. Market basically meaning, hey, I want to buy a certain amount. Let's actually go back to the ones that I usually show in my videos, which is XRP to USDT. Let's say you want to buy right now. You don't care about, the price too much. You just want to buy because you think it's going to go up or down. You go to market and you just put in, let's say, okay, I want to buy 10,000 XRP. Oh, sorry, yes, 10,000 XRP. You buy it like this. You just put in 10,000 XRP with market. It's just going to buy it right now. We can see, okay, we use 10 times leverage, so it's going to cost me $1,200 to do it. I only have $200 in the account though. So let's do 1,000 XRP. If I wanted to buy that right now, it's going to cost me $120 with 10 times leverage. Let's open it. Let's buy. You can see here the little message like I just talked to you guys about. You can see all the different pieces of info that you might need. I press confirm. Bada boom, bada bing. I just opened another 1,000 XRP or 1,000 contracts. You can see here it went from 10,100 to 11,100, and I just got a notification on my app as well that I just bought even more. All right, and then the conditional is basically, let's say you want to trade XRP once it gets to $2, which basically means, hey, okay, I want to buy the moment that it starts to pump. You put in, for example, $2 right here. And that will basically make sure that it's going to buy 1,000 XRP only at the moment that it hits one of those prices that you pre-targeted. You can just use last. You don't have to think too much about it. I would also recommend using market right there, because if you put limit, there's more things you have to configure, which basically would mean, let's say the price is $2, it's your trigger price. Once it goes back to this limit that you put up there, it's going to buy it again. So market would just basically say, hey, once it hits this price, buy it instantly. And limit would be, once it gets to that price, okay, let's wait for it to come to my price again, and then also want to buy. And now, once you've opened a position, how to close it, you can use these buttons right here. For example, let's say, hey, I want to close it at a certain price, or market say, hey, I want to close some of the position right now. I could just, for example, say, hey, you know what, I want to actually get rid of 100 of these contracts right now. I want to get rid of those. You can see what your profit would be, for example. Let's press it. You can see 100 contracts have been sold. I can, however, also actually decide to press close right here and fill in all the information. For example, hey, I want to close 100 contracts. You guys get how it works, right? You just press this button. Theoretically speaking, you could also actually open a contrary position. If you went long, you can also open a new short, and then we'll kind of cancel each other out. You guys, I think, get it. So that's it for the leverage part of things. There's also spot, which I've been using more and more and more, and I keep kind of recommending people to use more. Again, none of this stuff is financial advice. It's just whatever I use, and I'm trying to give you guys a little info on it. So the spot thing is actually very similar to any other exchange you've ever used, and the ways you buy and sell things are also very similar. But spot basically meaning you buying something, and it's never going to expire. These things are perpetuals, the contracts from before, so they never expire either, just so you know. You can have them open forever if you want to. But spot basically means, hey, you know what? I want to buy myself some mana, for example, and let's just, I don't have anything in my spot account. That's the annoying thing. You have to take some money from your derivatives account and put it in spot, or take some money from spot and put it in derivatives by pressing a little button. I'm going to show you guys real quick. Most likely it's going to say deposit right here, but because I'm on a sub account, it doesn't say that. You're going to have to, for example, let's say you put 1,000 USDT in. You're going to have to transfer some USDT from your spot account to your derivatives to be able to trade it there, and vice versa. So right now, for example, let's say I wanted to buy something in spot. I'd have to change some money over, which is a little bit annoying, but that's the way it goes. And then I can actually buy some mana, for example. And it's the same thing like, for example, a Coinbase or something like that. I could just keep it in my wallet forever, and I'll have mana. I can also withdraw it if I want to another wallet of mine that I have somewhere, like, for example, your Legend Nano S or whatever. You guys hopefully get how that one works. And then the ByFi Center is the last, I guess, important thing to quickly cover. It's basically an area where you can get yourself some yield on your cryptos. Easy terms, it's like, let's say you have some Ethereum in your wallet, or Bitcoin, or USDC for that matter, or USDT. You can actually go here. There's already $5 million or $5 billion in there. No, 5 million. 5 million? Not sure. I think it's $5 million. I don't know. But you press the button. You put a little bit of USDT in it. For example, we don't have anything. 1,000 USDT. It's going to basically give yourself 10 cents a day. If you, for example, put in, I don't know, freaking some money, you can see how much it's going to give you every single day. There's no risk to this. I don't think. I use this all the time on Binance, for example, but now there's also an option on Bybit. I would definitely recommend using this if you have money left that you would like to lend out, because you get money for it. There's also a couple of other small things here which you can check out, but that's all for your own little thing. All right, there's more and more updates that I make on how to make money with Bybit every single day on my channel. For example, one of the coins which we just bought over on here gave us a 180x. I'll talk more about that over in my Telegram, which is down below. But once more, guys, just use the link down below to sign up. You're going to get yourself the best bonuses, and this is actually the Telegram link if you were wondering about it. Make sure you join that one too. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video very soon. Thank you guys all so much for watching.